The NBA is suspending Draymond Green indefinitely.
What does that even mean?
Means they don't have an answer, and they're said, we're sick and tired of all the shenanigans. Go home. Damn.
Man.
You don't like it?
That means without pay, too.
I mean, like, you got to make an example. It's getting a little ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, he's just like swinging at guys now. What's going on?
I know this is a hot take. I thought like the 25 games for Ja were a little crazy. So I think this is. I don't know. I mean, what do you do? You're not going to suspend him the rest of the season indefinitely. I wonder what that does mean. It means they're just going to throw something at the wall and see what sticks here.
Probably. I mean, what did he get? 5 last time? I bet it's double.
Yeah.
I bet it's 10.
It's probably going to be more than that.
Well, if it's indefinite,
you know what I mean?
That's
like,
probably like Jaw stuff.
Oh, man.
Indefinitely
Could
is
be.
like.
They're so bad right now, too.
They got to get it figured out.
Yeah, the Warriors are looking like a lottery team, guys.
I mean, Clay looks cooked right now. Steph can't do it all on his own. Wiggins, what happened to Andrew Wiggins?
Well,
the advanced numbers are just
I don't know
if
the personal stuff off the court is still a thing for him,
he's
too.
Not very good. Like, Kuminga one night I'm like, okay. And then the next night it's like, no, that ain't a thing. I don't know. They're probably in big trouble if Draymond's done for.
Any team that's built to win championships, one day their window closes, guys. And I think it's closed now for
our Dubs.
Our Dubs. They really are my Dubs.
Shame.
I love that organization. I think what they've done has been fantastic, but that's over, man.
Who knows when he's going to be back?
Yeah, I mean, it's always something with Draymond, right? It's like every other week.
That's the reason why this has gotten so bad. Is that he's now, like, for a while he was used as an example, but now it's like people are saying, what's wrong with him? Like, that's literally been the conversation.
Yusuf Nurkic said, bro, like, what is what
Yeah.
is up with this guy? He needs help.
Yeah. And I think he might also. I think that, like, I mean, I defended him the last time, and I was like, this is why Draymond's in the league. Like, you know what I mean? He's not the most talented guy.
Are you coming back from that now?
I mean, no, I don't think he knows another way. I think that's the way that he's wired, the way that he's built. I love listening to Draymond. I like Draymond, but yeah, I mean, like, what are they going to do? Suspend him for 15 games? He's not going to learn his lesson. He's going to come back in 15 games or 20 games, and maybe he'll be good for a week. Maybe he'll behave for 2 weeks, and then somebody's going to set him off, and he's going to stomp on somebody's chest. What are you going to do? Kick him out of the league?
Yes.
I mean, you might have to then.
Well, they'll just keep suspending him longer and longer.
He's just going to continue to do the same thing. Like they did this with Rodman. Let's also, and like Bill Laimbeer, we used to glorify this behavior, by the way, as well. Like guys getting headbutted, Dennis Rodman throwing Scottie Pippen into the stands. Everybody was like, "Oh, this is a good rivalry. These teams hate each other."
That was bad basketball. I'm so glad that's not the NBA anymore.
Me too.
Yeah, I mean, like, Rodman headbutted a referee. He kicked a cameraman. Every game he would get ejected. He'd get ejected like every other game. He would take his jersey off. He'd throw it into the crowd.
He would.
And he still got plenty of opportunities, And then the offseason would hit, and there he'd be in the WCW wrestling ring going against Karl Malone with Hulk Hogan and DDP. And then it was his run with the Bulls was over, and he was signing with the Mavs, like 15-day contracts. Come out and see Dennis Rodman. We suck. So Draymond's always going to have a spot in this league unless they kick him out. And I think that'd be kind of silly to kick him out.
The problem with this, though, is
I'm more worried about some of the stuff I read about with these guys off the court.
Well, look, I mean, the Warriors are a team that's just the window's closed for them now. And eventually these teams age out, and it becomes, it's glaringly obvious when they get to the point where they're too old for what they used to be, and that's exactly where the Warriors are now. Lawrence Murray covers the Clippers in the NBA for The Athletic. He jumps on with us now. You were supposed to see Draymond Green and the Warriors tomorrow night against the Clippers. Now we're not going to see that for who knows how long. Your thoughts on the suspension and where we are now?
Yeah, I knew that wasn't happening at halftime. My guy shows me his phone. It's like, Draymond ain't going to be here Thursday night. And I'm like, I didn't see it. Like, I knew that it was some people were talking about, but I hadn't seen the clip. And then I see the clip, and I'm like, my guy's got more finishing moves than you'll see in a Royal Rumble these days, man. Like, he's got the clothesline. You got the curb stop in the playoffs. What's the bonus? The chokehold. Yeah. Hauled off and punched Jordan Poole. That was not even 14 months ago, and it's not good that that's what we're talking about with Draymond. Like he's a future Hall of Famer, but now in 2023 going into possibly 2024, we're going to be talking about like another multi-game suspension. So it's unfortunate for him. It's unfortunate for the Warriors, and hopefully this particular suspension is something that gets him to stop getting suspended. Like when you get indefinitely suspended, it's not even like you can't even put a timeline on it. It's way bigger than basketball. And unlike most dudes who get indefinitely suspended, this happened on the basketball court.
Lawrence, for the third consecutive season, I did buy into the Clippers. I'm a believer, and they made it a whole 22 games this season without an injury to Kawhi or Paul George. Like you said, he missed the second half. He's got some groin soreness, they're calling it. And I just look at this week, this stretch. They got 4 games, I believe, in 6 nights: Blazers, Kings, Warriors, Knicks. And then after that, like Pacers, Mavs, Thunder. And like you said, they're figuring some things out right now with Kawhi, with Russ coming off the bench and with Harden coming over. Does that concern you at all if he does have to miss some time? Just maybe like a little bit of a setback. And does he miss any time?
I hope I hope that the Clippers are smart and does not have him play through soft tissue stuff like something that might cost you a game or two. You don't want it to wind up costing you a week or two because you're trying to prove something. Like I saw that last season. That's the thing that tripped me up. I'm with this team all the damn time, and guys are talking about how dudes are just sitting out because they want to. No, I saw dudes play when they shouldn't have played. That's what we saw in Denver January, first week of January. They go there. It's a day I always remember because it was my birthday. And it stopped being my birthday as soon as that game started. Paul had a bad hamstring and decided, and the team let him play. Like he was allowed to play. And I knew he wasn't right immediately. Like a guy who is pretty good in the paint, everything was outside the paint. Jump shots, short, not getting not playing the type of game that he would play if he was healthy. And they were down 35 at halftime. And, of course, we didn't see Paul again for 2 weeks. And he didn't play the second night of the back-to-back again until after the All-Star break. That's the kind of thing where it's like, okay, you got to be smart, but then we're seeing a team that is pushing each other, pushing themselves to play all these games, high minutes, and because they have to. So the concern now is, can everybody adjust to doing a little bit more? Can guys who aren't playing play competently? Can guys like Norman Powell, or I'm not even sure how they would handle who would start because we haven't seen it yet this season. It could be Norm. It could be someone like Amir Coffey, who right now out of the playing rotation, but someone who, if you look back at previous seasons, has been able to start and fill in, especially for Paul George. So I feel like because everyone else is playing so well, and these guys are talented players. These guys are guys who've been practicing and been on this team for years. It's not going to be that big of an adjustment. Obviously, you're not going to be as talented, but the cohesiveness is what matters in a basketball game. And I think it would help the Clippers to see what that looks like in December now that they have a little bit of a cushion over 500. Not much, though. They're still only 7th in the West.
We see a Bears team that, again, like I said, I feel like they're actually trending up now. Justin Fields is allowed to be a little bit more of himself, which in the end is probably the best for this team. What does Chicago need to do to go into Cleveland this weekend and win that game?
They cannot turn the ball over, and Justin Fields has not been doing that lately. That's really good. If you look at his touchdown to interception ratio, it's been terrific this season, and especially since he's come back. They've got to play the same level of high-intensity defense that they've been playing. Jaquan Brisker, team strong safety, had 17 tackles and a forced fumble. And these weren't, you're getting gashed and your strong safety is having to make plays 20 yards down the field. No. This is a dude that is ready, and he gets to the line of scrimmage and he makes plays. So if they can do that, I suspect that they won't do a ton of blitzing. And it does hurt that Yannick Ngakoue is now out for the season. He was leading the team. He was second on the team in quarterback pressures, and he was starting to really work well with Montez Sweat on the other side. They've got to create pressure on Joe Flacco with 4. If they end up in a situation where they're blitzing, Flacco for his entire career, older smart quarterbacks don't blitz them because they'll kill you. And if you look at his numbers against the blitz and what he did against the blitz last week, I don't think that that's a really good idea. If I'm actually surprised that the number is what it is, considering that the Bears are going on the road. So that's pretty much even, right? That if you're saying it's -3, it's pretty much an even game. And considering the type of talent that Cleveland has on their offense and what they do defensively, I'm a little bit surprised. But if the Bears don't turn the ball over, I think that they've got a decent shot.